My favorite podcasts are ones that start with a bit of chat and then the guest going, "Is this it? Oh, is this
Are we on?
Oh, shit. Okay, cool.
I actually prefer it when the host does that.
I like that.
Are we going?
Are you happy for us to start now?
Can we swear on this thing?
Yeah. Is that fine? Oh, for fuck's sake, don't be a cunt.
What are you Audacity?
Well, I do the Audacity backup.
Yeah.
We got that direct in, and then the Audacity's like,
nice.
Hey,
Just in case.
What do you use for your music? What do you record into?
I have a friend who has a studio. He works for a production company. He does all their music there. He's a musician called Joyride.
Oh, yeah.
And we recorded in his studio.
Okay,
but
cool.
He would use Pro Tools, I think.
Yeah, right. You don't do any demos and stuff at home?
I do demos, but I'll just record it on my phone or whatever, or GarageBand or something, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Because you play music too, right?
Yeah, I tried to work out like Logic and stuff, but never quite got there.
No, I was never any good at that stuff. In fact, there was a while there where I was convinced I was going to be a music producer for a job, and I went to TAFE, and I think I lasted like 3 weeks.
Really?
I was just like, I don't care enough about any of this stuff, like learning the software and the microphones. In my head, it was like, no, I'm going to be like fucking, like Brian Wilson or Rick Rubin, and I'll just be a vibe guy in the studio. It's like, come on, no, let's do more like this, just kind of burning incense and all that shit.
Rick Rubin, I reckon, has set so many people off on the most unrealistic career paths.
I know.
Like, I'll just hang around in bare feet and tell people what I reckon.
Exactly. In LA or Miami or wherever the fuck he is. Working with hip-hop artists. That'd be my dream.
Yeah.
White guy working with hip-hop artists.
What's that Rick Rubin thing where it's like it's not produced by Rick Rubin, it's like reduced by Rick Rubin?
Ooh,
that's what he
I just
says.
made it.
I
I just
like
made
that.
it simpler, bro.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
like that. I'm going to start saying that about my stand-up. I've reduced it down.
I've distilled comedy to its essence. It's crowd work. That's what it is. That's all it is. Crowd work and still fucking.
It's this guy fucks. Yeah.
Our favorite thing.
Yeah. This guy definitely fucks.
Is this guy fucking? These guys are fucking. Everybody knows.
You're fucking?
It's fucking. Come on. These guys be fucking. You're not fucking. Come on, guys. Are they
you will be fucking.
Yeah. After this show.
Comedy in its essence is a guy and a girl sitting together, and you ask how long they've been together, and they say they're just friends. And then you go, he wants to fuck her so bad, and everyone unites behind that. They go, yeah, he does. It's awesome.
And then they fuck, and the audience gets to watch. That's a huge part of it.
Or she says 6 years and he says 8 years.
Oh
and
my
everyone goes,
God.
What a fucking idiot.
There was a minute there where he didn't know. Don't look at her, bro. Yeah,
Dude, we got a fuckhead. We got a fuckhead,
You
ladies
guys have
and
to
gentlemen.
fuck. You guys have to fuck live.
I remember, it was someone at Edinburgh doing like a set. Who the hell was it? It might have been Joe White. It might have been Joe White.
You're dying over that time. Please don't die. Please don't die. It would be so sad if we had to keep potting while you died.
Dude, is Tom drowning?
Yeah.
Anyway, so let me tell you this thing about Edinburgh.
Joe White. Edinburgh.
Joe White. It was just like, it was one of those like, hey, you guys are a couple. And like, they were like, no. And he's like,
Awesome.
but you're fucking though. And they're like, nah. And then for the entirety of his set, he was like, but come on. Like, just honestly, he's like, but you are though. Like, you have like once. He's like, seriously? Like, he just like couldn't believe it.
Can't believe that they could be friends.
To the point where after the set, he just kind of came up to me and was like, yeah, man, like, I do get it now. I understand that they didn't and not everyone does, but at the time I was shocked.
But you want to though, right?
Surely.
Surely one of you wants to.
Oh, you're gay.
You must be gay.
Both of you are gay?
Both
Yeah.
must be
Are
gay.
you
Double gay.
blood relatives? What's going on
Gay
here?
blood relatives.
Yeah, the gay blood relatives. Good episode title, by the way.
Don't do
Gay.
that.
Dan hates that. Dan hates when the guest proposes the title. He chooses the title.
Thank you.
Every time.
Thank you, Tom.
And it will be gay blood relatives.
It might be. No, the only rule in the pod is like just you can't be like, but what's it about? Like, because we get a bit of that. And the other one is some people tell the editor what he can cut out, and they can't. His name's Josh. But
Okay,
do not
Josh, cut all this
talk to
out
him.
so far.
Don't.
So far, we're
God.
cutting all this out.
I knew you were going to be a problem.
Sorry, I'm a bit of rebellious. Though. I like to fuck with the format. I
Just for anyone listening, his arms are currently crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just to let you know, he doesn't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
But his legs are also crossed, so
Legs
he's
are
quite
crossed,
respectful.
and all my toes and fingers are all crossed, too. And my
Really?
dicks, my two dicks.
Both of your dicks?
Yeah, my two dicks are crossed. Always. if you're cheating but your dicks are crossed, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count as cheating.
It doesn't count as cheating. Oh, what the fuck? So what's this show about?
You're a bastard.
Josh, can you edit that out?
So I'm just picturing like a guy having sex with a girl. The girl's like, "Did you come?" And he's like, "No," but his dick's across. So it's not lying. It's fine, but
They're crossed and covered in cum.
No, I just pissed.
it's like a really snowy hug. Ugh, that's gross.
That is gross.
I knew it was going to be dirty with you here.
Yeah.
Cameron James, king of the smut.
Oh
It's like
my
one of those
God.
cinnamon glazed twists you get from donuts.
Oh, that's so fucking gross. I love it. I think
That is yuck.
I just love filth so much.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's
guys on
so
the podcast, everyone just kind of wants to talk about cum.
Kind of.
Someone brings it up and that's
Kind
all
of.
you talk about for the
And
next
you're like,
55
oh,
minutes.
thank God someone said it. Now I can talk about it and think about it. I don't know what that is. I guess we just boys love to talk about their dicks and cum and jacking off and all that shit. I wonder what that's about. I wonder why. Maybe it's because we're all secretly in love with each other. Or because it's just naughty and we like being naughty.
We like being naughty. We like crossing a line. We don't like talking about dicks and cum with women though.
No.
I feel like you bring a
No,
woman
no,
and you're
no.
kind of like, oh, she might have seen it.
Yes,
Like, you know?
yes. No, I don't like
There's some
all that.
accountability there.
Wait, might have seen a dick?
Or yours.
Your dick.
Yeah.
She might have and you don't
She
know.
might
I
have.
don't know what
seen
subreddit she's going on. I don't know how she's spending her free time. I don't know what windows she's gazed through.
Dan's dick.
Wait, you're a sub?
Yeah, I've
Fuck yeah,
subscribed.
dude. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, I upvote everything in there.
It's a real twist on the concept. It's like rate my dick, but I just rate my dick over
Yeah,
and over
you
again.
rate
It
it.
is good.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
still
Dan,
good.
Dan's dick, ask me anything. Why do you do this?
Please stop. That's not a question.
Yeah, no one's ever done that on an AMA. What are you doing?
Why are you doing
Oh,
this?
I'm not going to answer that. We said ask you anything.
Why do you keep insisting on doing this? Yeah, no.
That was actually when I used to host pub trivia. I walked a guy from the venue who was interfering with the quiz.
What was he doing?
He was yelling out answers.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
So he sat in like the public, it was like the bar was like sprawling the whole thing. And
he
was,
wasn't
like,
even
kinda
part
at
of
bar.
the crew. He was just.
He was just yelling stuff out as I was asking the questions. He's like, it's blah. And you're just like, come on, man.
That's like the fucking Joker, man. That's so rude. That's so chaotic. Just fucking with people. You got to get him out. So you walked him, as in you abused him until he left.
yes.
What'd you do?
Well, because
Was he yelling out correct answers?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. If he didn't know, was he quiet?
yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
Tom's like, this guy is Machiavellian.
yeah.
He really understands the form. So he would like just yell stuff out. Like when it was a really obvious answer that everyone knew. And then when it wasn't, he'd just be like quietly drinking his beer. Alone. Guy drinking his beer alone. Tuesday night, Abercrombie Hotel.
What age?
I'm thinking late 30s or mid 40s, depending on the hardness of the life. So I'm
Okay.
guessing late 30s.
That's sad.
He did, yeah, he looked it.
Yeah.
And what ethnicity?
Caucasian.
God, typical.
Yeah, we just don't know how to
Yeah.
behave.
They're all like that.
That's rough, man. And what'd you say to him?
So he just kept yelling stuff out. And I was like, initially I was gentle. I was like, hey, man, like people are writing stuff down. Like it's not, I think, maybe he just thinks everyone's an idiot. So I was like, what an obvious, no one said anything.
Everyone's just looking at
This
paper.
man is waiting for an answer as they're just trying to sketch some ideas down.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hey, man, like people are writing the stuff down. So if you could just keep it to yourself, that'd be great. And he was like, yeah, of course.
Oh, no. That's
Liar.
the worst.
He lied to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then immediately next one is like, the black keys and, and I'm just like, dude, like I just asked you to not yell, like this is on the mic this time. I was just like, I just asked you to not yell out the answers. Can you not? And he was just like, I'll stop yelling stuff out when he asked me a hard question. And I said, okay, why are you here?
Yes.
And he honestly put his beer down, looked at it for a minute, and then just walked out.
Oh, God.
Man, he had a moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I genuinely felt bad.
He was like, why am I here? Why am I doing this?
Just went to the next trivia room he can find.
Yeah.
The Black Keys.
They're like, no, that's the other one.
Damn it.
Man, I remember this is a memory that's like flashed into my mind many, many times over the years since it happened. But I remember doing a gig.
Are you giving us the memory of the memory?
Memory of memory. Inception. Yeah, I'm memory-ceptioning you.
Josh is going to edit in some wind chimes.
Yeah. I remember doing a gig in I can't remember if you were on, but in eastern suburbs somewhere, the back room of the pub,
Yes.
there was only one guy in there and he had decided to heckle everybody.
Wait, there was only one audience member
Yes.
and he heckled.
Yeah. He's the only guy.
Wow.
But he just decided, you know what? My night is going to be fucking with these people. And it was, you kind of have to respect it. But also at the time you hate it. You're like, fuck this guy, fucking shut up. Hope he shuts up when I'm on, and then he doesn't. You're like, fuck.
What kind of heckling? Like, what's the angle he's taking?
I think just asking questions,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of heckling where it's like picking apart the logic of people's jokes or asking irrelevant questions about details of their setup and all that shit.
Awful.
Stepping on your rhythm. And
So
Yeah.
essentially he was podcasting.
Yeah, it was like, and I think
That's kinda what we're doing here.
a few people engaged early on, and then he just kind of decided to keep going with it. But I remember just thinking afterwards, not at the time, but afterwards thinking yeah, good on him. What else is he going to do? Sit there quietly and listen to people talk?
That would be worse, actually.
It's so much worse.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So wait, it was literally one person in the audience.
One guy.
And the show went on.
The show went on, and worse. So there was one guy who was in the back room of a pub, and when I finished my set, I went to the front bar to get a drink, and we were using a microphone in the back bar that was coming through the front bar speakers as well. So people, which was full, so
Sick.
people in the front bar could just hear people bombing
Oh,
and
no.
people going like, dude, shut up. Arguing with this guy. That's great.
That's sick.
It's so good. But I kind of got to respect it. But I think, it's different at a trivia night. Maybe that I don't respect that guy, but there's part of me that respects the solo heckler.
Well, the guy at the trivia night's ruining it for everybody else, whereas
Yeah.
that guy's just making his night better.
Yeah, he's like, there's no one else here.
Yeah.
Make it fun for me. Make it fun for them.
In hindsight. Not at the time, but they'll thank me for this
At
later.
least we remember it. Well, I remember it. I don't know who else remembers it.
Yeah, because I guess because I'm always like, if the number of comedians outnumbers the number of audience, the show does not go on.
That's
my
got to
rule.
be cancelled. That's got to be.
That's still a high bar for a lot of shows I've done, I reckon. I think it's like 4. I don't think it matters how many comedians you have. I think it's like 4 people.
Yeah,
4.
definitely. Oh my god, I've done shows to fucking.
What's the
1.
smallest you've done? Like solo. You for an hour.
a
What's the smallest?
solo? Oh god, I reckon it would be like 4.
I reckon I've done 3.
I did 3. First night in Adelaide, I did 3, and one of the guys barely spoke English. It was awesome. It went great. Like a nightmare. The 2 came because they thought I was Tom Ballard. And then afterwards, he told me to keep my day job.
Oh my god.
Joke's on you, sir. I do have a day job.
Imagine if I left that gig thinking, I should quit my day job. That's what I should do this full time.
Yes, forever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I also did 3 in Adelaide, and it was one of the audience members was my dad.
Oh, no.
Another one was another comedian, and then
Yeah.
one left.
What year is this?
Ooh, 2015, maybe.
I'd have to can it. I can't do
I'd can that
3
for
people,
sure.
including my dad.
Well, that's the
And
longest you've
another
ever
person
spoken to
you
your
know.
dad. Full hour. Thank God he's not listening.
Is it still crowd work with just me asking my dad questions?
Are you proud of
How's
it?
work?
Yeah.
What's mum up to?
Yeah, what do you think about? Do you like me? Oh my god! I went to another comics show in Melbourne one year, many years ago now, where it was me and another comedian and one random punter in the audience. We were the only 3, and she spent the entire show, and we were all men, by the way. She spent the entire show talking about how bad men were, and then pointing at us and being like, "I bet you're a cunt. I bet you're a guy that does this." I'm like, "Fucking, you flied me outside. Okay, I'm trying to support you." Jesus Christ! Like just doing the most nervous laughs after every one of her punchlines. Like,
She's just backstage being like, should I change the show? I don't really have anything else. I reckon just go for it.
yeah, I remember one of her bits was like implying that obviously it in a full crowd, maybe this works. She's implying that one of the guys in the crowd keeps looking at her tits, but she did it to me. And I remember being like, I'm not looking. I'm not. I'm just looking at your eyes.
Yeah. How are her tits?
Oh, really nice. I'm not. Fuck. Leave me alone.
That's so funny. You think it's a bit she does in every show?
It must be. She's saying like, stop jacking off. And I was like, I will in a second. Stuff like that.
Look, I was there with my sunglasses on and my cane. There's no way she could have known what I was doing.
Glasses with fake eyes drawn on the outside of them.
I was on the shoulders of a slightly shorter comedian.
Wait, does the short guy go on the bottom in a trench coat scenario? I thought the short guy go on the top.
I think it's just cumulative height. I don't think it matters.
I have him down there facing the other way so he can suck me off.
Are your shoes on backwards?
Meanwhile, I'm up top, cross-eyed, getting sucked off by my friend.
Wait, are you cross-eyed or are they cross-eyed?
I'm cross-eyed.
I'm cross-eyed and cross-dicked.
It's not cheating. Don't tell my wife. It's not cheating if your friend sucks you off while you're trying to sneak into a club on each other's shoulders.
Why the club? Are you just trying to save on cover?
Yeah.
Or are you underage, which makes this a real problem, given the dick sucking scenario?
We're both in our 30s, but we do it for the thrill.
That'd be funny. People just trench coating who don't need to. It's just like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos trench coating to sneak into a cinema. One ticket, please. Are you Mark Zuckerberg?
To a G-rated movie.
Did you guys ever have fake IDs?
I was one of the old guys in my year. My birthday's at the end of May, and I was in like the year where you're like 18 in year 12. So I was and it was good though because I'm an only child. So like I was very reliant on the older brothers of others to sort out alcohol, but
booze,
I immediately got to return the favor.
You got to be the one. No, that's
You know?
nice. That's nice. What about you?
No, I never had one.
You had one. Well, it wasn't really a fake. It was just like a guy in the year above me's ID that he just gave me.
That seemed to be the thing, right? You wanted a look-alike, not a fake.
Yeah. You
look
just
like was more likely to
get his one. I don't even know how to get a fake one.
Well, they do the scratch. They scratch and then they relaminate.
Oh, right.
So like that's why the bouncer does that thing in the light because you can see it's scratched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on a certain angle. Because if you look at it kind of flat on with no light on it, you're like, oh yeah. But then if you look, you can kind of see it's a little bit. You can peel it off. Some bouncers do that who are dicks, as opposed to just like you're not getting in.
Yeah,
try down the road.
Right. Yeah.
Peel it off, so as in you can't use this ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're fucked.
I mean, it was cool I loved it. It was great. My parents were supportive of it as well.
Of the fakie?
Yeah, because I was young. I was the opposite of you. I was like young in my year, and then when I graduated, or at the end of year 12, when we did like a pub crawl, and I was still 17, and a bunch of my friends were 18, and my mum was like, "Have you got a fake ID?" And I was like, "Oh, there's a kid in the year above me. I've got his one." And she's like, "Okay, all right, good." I'm like, "Oh, okay." They were just cool with it.
Take a jacket.
Yeah. Maybe brush your hair a little different.
How much of the info on the fake, on this guy's ID had you memorized?
Like all of it.
Top to bottom?
Yeah, and like knew his star sign and all that shit.
I always heard, star sign.
Never get asked that.
Yeah.
Imagine a bouncer being like, "What's your star sign?" Like, that would never happen.
How many drinks have you had? Gemini?
Gemini means 2 for twins.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remembered everything and like, and then I sort of missed it when I didn't have it anymore.
You missed being him?
I missed like the thrill of getting in underage. But also in Newcastle, we used to like climb into the back of pubs sometimes as well, climb in through a window and shit. We're always just like, and then I missed that. I missed the thrill of it.
Yeah.
And even now I'm like, fuck, I would love to be drinking in a park.
I just love you being like, walking through a door, boring. This sucks.
Hate being here. Yeah. All the things about underage drinking that are fun that I miss now. I think you try to recreate like house parties. I love that more than I love being out. Or
Way
just
more.
like drinking in a park or something is way better. Just miss it.
I feel like the group, like, because we used to go the goon bag, like we were heavy on the goon bag, and just like the group think to acquire the goon bag. You know, it's just like, we got to try your older brother. Fuck, he's not here. We got to try your older brother. Okay, but like, how many of us are hitting the bag? We got 5 liters. Is that enough for 4 people?
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Is that enough for 4 16-year-olds? I don't know, man. Like, we might want to get a second.
Yeah, we'll get 2. We'll get one red, one
We'll get like the
white.
goon bag, and then we'll get a flask, and then we'll get some.
Oh my God, flasks.
Ted's Platinum.
Yeah,
Teds, man.
It's a moment.
Got to get the Platinum.
Teds,
dude.
you can still get them. They're out there.
They brought him back.
We don't see them, but they're out there. I love them.
Ted's Platinum.
I missed that. But that's kind of what buying drugs is now for people. It's always like a group chat, people being like, all right, we're going to fucking get some drug. We'll do. It's exactly the same thing. Like
Whispering in the group chat. All lowercase. All lowercase, baby.
In brackets, everything in brackets. All right, guys, let's get some fucking drugs. I'll bring my money, you bring more money. We'll get someone's older brother to get us some drugs. Here's a question then. Have you guys ever bought alcohol for underage people? And not in a sus way, but like has a kid
Yeah,
ever
they
come
didn't know
up
it was
to you?
alcohol. They thought it was Coke.
Has anyone ever come up to you and been like, can you go in and buy us beer or whatever?
I'm trying to remember. For some reason, I think I have, but maybe I'm just like thinking I would.
Yeah, it seems something you do.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of man I would like to be.
Really?
I did it once. And some 2 boys in Glebe were like,
was she hot?
she's like, stop looking at my tits. I was like, oh no. Oh, fine, I'll buy you some fucking goon. There's 2 boys, and they're like, can you buy us some, like, it was like just 1 6-pack between 2 boys. And I was like, this is so cute. I'll do it. And I did it.
You
And
went
they-
like, dude, that's fucking lame. Get a case. Fucking soft cocks.
I got it for him, and I was so smug afterwards. And I immediately told my wife, I'm like, I just did the nicest thing for these boys. Bought them a 6-pack. She was like, that's so lame. And also, you shouldn't have done that. And I was like, yeah, I actually was pretty scared. Giving it to them and giving them their change back.
2 cops in trench coats.
2 cops squatting on each other's shoulders so they look smaller.
Yeah. That's so funny. Dude, actually, sorry. I love the immediate telling your wife, because like, we're all married here, finally.
Yeah,
Finally, a fully married cabin.
Yeah.
This can't be the first, surely.
I don't know.
Ivan
is married.
Ivan
Yeah, that's
is
true.
married, yes.
But we're all married to our first wives.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't count if it's a second marriage.
Ivan's like, fellas, it's not that serious.
this happens all the time.
Yeah. No, because like, this is all right. This is okay. This is one of the true difficulties, I think, of marriage.
Oh, no.
Here we go. We ready?
Okay.
When you do something good, like unload the dishwasher without having been asked,
Oh,
fold
boy.
and put stuff away in the way that she insists on stuff being folded, because the way that you fold is unacceptable and it doesn't fit the dimensions of the cupboard. Doing that and knowing you've done good and deserve a little treat in a compliment. Or you can wait for her to notice. So it's just do you tell her so you get the praise, but it's reluctant praise, or do you wait and have her potentially not notice that you've done the good thing, but the praise is much more genuine?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys live in more progressive households than I do, but I just know I'm never going to win that game. I'm going to be like, I unset the dishwasher. He's like, I made dinner the last 6 nights.
Yeah,
like, that's fair.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we'll call it even.
I think we've been together long enough now that I don't do that anymore, but I used to. But even I would go even
You don't
further.
need praise anymore?
No.
Cameron.
I get it from audiences not often.
One at a time.
No,
You say, I emptied the dishwasher this morning. Round of applause. Applause break.
Thank you. What
relationship-
else? What else is new?
My relationship with audience is also monogamous.
Yeah, one guy. It's that one guy. He's been coming since that one gig. No, I think
Seriously, for real? You're not like, hey, come on, check this out. You're going to love this. You know that
It's-
thing that you wanted me to do? I did it while you were out.
Fuck yeah.
You didn't even have to ask me again.
Yeah.
I don't think I do it as much as I used to, but I used to do it a lot more. And I also used to want praise for things that aren't praiseworthy. Like I'd be like, I didn't even drink that much last night and stuff like that. And she'd be like, oh, cool. Good for you. I didn't drink anything. She'd be like, I was at home and I'd be at fucking Muggleton Kettle or whatever and come home and be like, only had 5 beers.
Some guy bought them for me.
Yeah, but I don't think I do it as much anymore. I think I don't know, because she does more probably. So you know, I can't bring it up. Like what Tom said. We're shit. I don't know what you want from us. We're all shit.
Dude.
You're shit.
Yeah,
man.
I think Mary the other day was just kind of like, just you guys are all fucking gross.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah. Like, you know, like all dudes are just slightly grosser and slightly more horny. You know, like we're just both. We're just just like we just can't be held to the same standard.
Oh, my wife has turned me into a germaphobe over the years.
Okay.
I used to be real messy and I would leave like crumbs and shit everywhere and like plates with scraps of food on it everywhere. But because she's so much of a clean freak, that's rubbed off on me. And now if I'm staying with another comedian for a comedy festival, if they leave their shit around, I become the wife. And I like snap at Tom Cashman and stuff and be like, dude, you fucking left plates in the sink again. I had to clean them. Like I've become that for sure.
But to be fair, Tom didn't have many beers the night before.
Yeah,
He's
true.
trying.
That's true. That's true.
Are you a germaphobe or just mess?
Oh, mess, I suppose. Not
Yeah.
germ-
Have you got hand sanitizer on your person?
No, not on my person. No, not on my
I
person.
think you're fine.
But I'm a mess phobe for sure, and I'm also a homophobe.
Which is weird because they're clean.
yeah.
They're very neat. It should work on paper.
Should. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've gotten cleaner and cleaner the older I get. I don't know.
That's just normal, right?
I suppose.
Because I think about the life I used to live, like, you know, single mattress on the floor.
Oh,
When
my
Mary and I got
God.
together, single mattress on the floor. My bedside table was like a broken children's chair I found on the street. Like all the clothes I had were like hung up on like one of those just like wire, like
I remember
you
those.
see it like a fucking street fair thing.
Yeah.
Like that was what you're walking into. Like one Birdman poster to prove that I valued art. You know? This is where I was at. And then Mary just kind of had sex with me in there and was like, we need to change this.
Never again.
Never again. Yeah, but no, I think so. It's funny because like now, yeah, I'm the same as you. Like go to, like especially other comedians gross, like, especially like dudes left to their own devices. Like,
Oh yeah.
it just like you walk in and you're like, how do you guys live like this? Is that a saucepan
Totally.
outside?
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
You better be turning that into a creative pot plant.
Yeah, but I like I don't even I think if I was left to my own devices fully, like if I, God forbid, was left, if God forbid if my wife left me and I was single again, I don't think I'd be like, fuck yeah, time to be a playboy, I'm going to be a party machine or whatever. I reckon all I would do was just eat tuna and crackers and fucking do comedy. I think that's all I would do. I think I'm like, just be basic. I'd live like a monastic lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Dude, I don't think you can say monastic anymore.
I am because I'm half monastic. Yeah.
I got a cousin who's monastic. She doesn't, I don't think her parents would be cool with it. You know,
No,
she'd be fine with it. She doesn't really know what's going
I
on.
go to the monastic center. And, yeah, I reckon I'd just be basic.
I think like you'd have to give it a run. Like if you were like left and alone as a man, you'd have to be like, well, now I can do all the things that I wasn't doing. I'm going to have 6 beers at Mug and Kettle.
Yes, yes.
And just go hard for like 3 weeks and then be like, I think I'm going to die.
Yeah, I can't do this.
And then you tone it down.
Yeah, Cam James bringing back Mug and Cattle. He must be taking the divorce hard.
Oh man, it was good. It was good times, Smug and Kettle.
So you don't think you go through a party boy phase? You don't think you'd go through? Surely you'd just be. Are you a big drinker now?
I drink most nights, but not heaps.
Yeah.
I'm in my cocktail era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not pounding beers. I'm like, I'm gonna have 2 cocktails.
Homophobic, huh?
I'm gonna have 2. Like, I'm not having like. You're pitching a big fucking glass with like fruit hanging out of it. And shit.
2 umbrellas.
A blender. Yeah. No, it's like
not like that, right? It's just like a Cosmo, something neat.
I'm doing
In
like
a martini glass.
a Negroni, which you're not allowed to say, I don't think. But
It's okay.
yeah.
We've got no listeners in Italy. They don't give a shit.
yeah, I'm doing like bitters, and I'm like having a
At home?
Yeah.
Really? Mixing your own or pre-mixed?
I mix my own. Come on, man. I feel like
you finish the day and just knock up a little Negroni to
yeah,
chill.
like a Negroni, a fucking gin and tonic, an Americano.
Just sitting, you're watching. You're sitting and
Sometimes I'm
you're
watching,
chatting, you're
chat.
talking.
We chat, chuck some music on, and then we'll pop on Severance or whatever the fuck afterwards. I'm a cosmopolitan guy, and I live a very grown up
Is
life.
that what we're calling it?
What would you call it?
I think my dad's been calling them that for a while.
Metrosexual.
I think that guy's a cosmopolitan fella.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel too old. I don't think I could go through a party boy phase. You know what I mean?
I think I give it a run at like a festival, and then I'm just like, oh my god, like my body just can't.
Yeah, you went on day 2 of a 4-day festival going, I've made a horrible choice.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
No, it's Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and by like day 21, I'm like, all right, I don't think this is for me.
Oh, man.
I can't keep having an Aperol spritz at 6 p.m. to make up for the 11 beers I had from the last one.
yeah.
How does that make up? That's
It's
because
got
of the
fruit in
orange?
it. Yeah.
That's hair of the dog and vitamin C.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
Oh, my God. Oh, because I've been doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival since like 2012 or something now. And I remember like maybe 2013, I got so drunk the night before it even started that I woke up, got in an elevator to go down to get a coffee and spewed in the elevator and was like, it hasn't even started yet and I'm already doing this.
What floor?
Like 8 or something like that.
That's a long way to go down and then back up.
Spew in there just while I'm standing and then be like, oh my God. The comedy festival hasn't technically started. I'm already spewing in an elevator in the morning. I can't do this.
That is heaps.
So
But like,
those days are gone, I think. for me.
I came to your show in Melbourne. I'm trying to think, not last year, maybe the year before, when you're doing the back by popular demand
Oh, yeah.
at the, what's it called? Max Watts.
Max Watts, yep.
What's the show called again? I apologize.
Electric Dreams.
Electric Dreams. I kept
Yeah.
in my head being like electric feel, and I'm like, that's not it. That's MGMT.
Electric Avenue?
Yeah. Electric 6?
All good names. All good names.
Yeah, and I was like, because I consider you quite a presentable and lovely young man,
Thanks, mate.
but during that show, you talked about being part of a fight club.
Yeah. Well, that's my issue is I'm like, I love fucked up dudes and I want to be them, or at least I want to be near them. And at times I try to act like that and sometimes have dipped into bad behavior and then immediately get scared and back out, you know. But yeah, my friendship in high school, my friendship group were all the bad kids because I was like quiet and quite nice in primary school. And then in year 7, I got put in a stream with a bunch of kids I didn't know. And these kids were like troublemakers. And I just got obsessed with them and wanted to impress them. And so I became like naughty. And I was like a smart ass in class and I was in their crew. And then that kind of evolved into like shoplifting and all that kind of shit, like naughty boy behavior. And then, yeah, it led to a fight club.
As all shoplifts do.
Yeah. But it was like we're all into Jackass, so we're always doing like
Right.
kind of stuff like that, like jumping off things or like slap fights and stuff like that.
On the face slap fight?
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
going to ask you, talk about like the naughty group, like who's the target of it? You know what I mean? Is it kind of like, is it harmless, victimless, we're going to jump off this thing, we're going to hurt ourselves, or was it sort of more malevolent?
It's mainly harmless, but then like there's like bullying involved in every group, I suppose. And sometimes you're receiving it and you fucking hate that and you're like, I'll be nice next time I see someone bully someone else. But then as soon as it turns on that guy, you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. I hate him too. And you turn on them as well. But yeah, it was mainly harmless. It was mainly jackassy type stuff. A lot of jumping off things. There was this bodyboarding DVD series called Tension, which was like the Australian Jackass.
A bodyboarding DVD series is the most like Naughty's Newcastle thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was like
Hell yeah, dude.
Some of your listeners might remember it. It was called Tension. It was kind of Jackass. Like it would be bodyboarding clips intercut with these boys like jumping off shit, falling downstairs, or like deliberately falling over in public and stacking it. And we got really into like stacking it. And we'd film each other doing it. So you'd be like in a shopping center and you'd try to fall down a flight of stairs or fall down an escalator and stuff and see if people would help you. And like, when I look back on it, I'm like, what was that? What was the point of it? Like to trick people into being good Samaritans or something?
Yeah,
I don't really know.
The risk to reward on that is crazy.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going to fall down an escalator to see if anyone cares.
Oh my God.
Because clearly my friends don't.
Yeah, and they're all laughing from a distance, hiding behind something.
I never really thought about how it is just kind of clowning, right? Like it's like it's a short step from Jackass to Goliath.
Yeah, it is basically. Yeah.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Goliath.
And Felipe's like, not funny.
Banging the pot.
Boring.
Steve-O would crush though. You know, he'd love Steve-O. Steve-O stapling his ball sack to his legs. Felipe would be like, this is clowning. This is pure clown. Yeah, I don't know, man. Even now, like,
wouldn't that be such a great thing if like Johnny Knoxville actually went to Goliath? Like, it's just been like suppressed, like how in the early stage of Jim Jeffries, like he was like, I was never an opera singer. That's not a thing that happened. No, I didn't grow up in Sinai. No, dude. I hate women.
If it turned out that Johnny had secretly gone to Goliath, I mean, that would be amazing. I still to this day just fucking worship Johnny Knoxville. I think he's the coolest fucking dude that ever walked the earth. And sometimes my wife will catch me watching the later Jackass movies, like the one that came out a couple of years ago, and I have like tears in my eyes from not from cry laughing, just from being emotional watching the boys. And then she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I just grew up watching these guys. You know, they're aging so gracefully.
It's as far as movies go, they're the most well-received sequels of potentially any film ever, right?
I think they've done very well. Yeah, I think they've all topped the previous one. I love them. I've got a real soft spot for them.
Are they still doing them? Will there be another Jackass movie?
I think they're borderline too old now. Like during the last one, Johnny apparently I don't know if you guys saw it.
I apologize. I'm not fully
Jackass
across
4?
the Jackass oeuvre.
Jackass Forever. Johnny got hit by a bull in gets blindfolded in a bull.
Which he's done before, right?
He's done before.
Yeah.
But this time he landed on his head and like broke his neck. And I believe his wife was like, that's it, you're not doing anymore. And he respects that.
I heard him.
It's like, okay.
That's such a funny, like, you know, just like, I let bulls run at me because the lads find it funny, but my wife makes the decision.
Said no.
Sorry, lads.
He did some video that was promoting the last movie on GQ or something where he was talking through his worst injuries. Oof. And he said that he got hit in the head so hard on one of them that like every time he sneezed, his eyeball would pop out a little bit.
Oh, God.
And I remember watching that and being like, you gotta just fucking sidestep into another career after that, right? You can't be like still doing that in your 50s, popping your eye out and shit.
He went on Neil Brennan's podcast and I think he said he had 16 concussions over the course of his career. And apparently it was like proper CTE. Doctors had to be like, nah, you're done. You can't. No more.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Can he not just like mentor the next generation of jackasses?
That's kind of what the last movie was. It was like a new generation. And I think I liked it.
They got a chick now?
They got a girl.
They got a black guy?
They got some black guys.
Awesome.
They got one of the guys from Odd Future that used to be in Odd Future with Tyler, the Creator.
That's sick.
And his dad, who's like a former, like an ex-con.
Johnny Knoxville's dad.
No, it's Jasper Dolphin from Odd Future and Jasper Dolphin's dad, whose name is Dark Shark, who's like this ex-con guy. And he's like in his 60s. They've got him doing jackasses.
They lock him in a room with a tiger.
It's pretty wild. But so that's kind of what the last movie was. And I think people didn't really like it.
Oh, really?
People were a bit like, no, we don't want to see the new generation. We want just the OG boys. But The OG boys are too old.
Yeah.
Steve-O's still touring, doing stuff, you know.
You ever seen him live?
Nah.
I've heard it's quite good.
I bet it would be.
Yeah.
The closest I've come to seeing him live is when I was a teenager. I worked at Hungry Jack's and he played the Newcastle Entertainment Centre and we had to make 100 cheeseburgers and I think he was going to eat 100 cheeseburgers in like 5 minutes on stage and then puke on stage. So I was part of making 100 cheeseburgers. That's my claim to fame.
Get a credit.
Yeah, consulting.
Special thanks.
Yeah, special thanks to Hungry Jack's Katara.
Katara.
You put that on your Electric Dreams poster?
Yeah,
Opening
still in my
for
bio.
Steve-O.
Yeah, still in the bio. Yeah, that's like, so I love those guys. I still do. But yeah, that's what we used to do in high school. We were so bored. Like there was nothing else you could do. It's like kind of pre-internet or like there was early internet.
Did everybody do it? Because I feel like in my group in high school, there was like one guy that we all kind of did stuff to.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure. Yeah,
he was kind of like the magnet for like
and he liked
something
it?
crazy. Yeah, he like, you know, the attention, I'm sure.
Yeah, he liked
Yeah.
it.
Just like, you know, just like we're all sitting there and it's just like, so who's going to push Liam into a bush today?
Oh yeah.
You know, just
There's
like,
a lot of that. Hey, a lot of being pushed into bushes,
Dude,
jumping in
fuck,
bushes.
I forgot about this story. This guy, so, you know, he wasn't particularly good at school. And in year 12, he had like a maths test coming up. And like, I just want to be clear, like not even weighted, like this didn't count towards the HSC at all, as far as I'm aware. It was just like an internal maths test. And he hadn't studied and he didn't want to do it. So he faked having appendicitis.
Great.
And he looked up the symptoms of appendicitis. So like with appendicitis, if you push, it actually doesn't hurt when you push. It's when you release.
Okay.
Right? So when the doctor pushes, you're like, no, that's fine. And when you release it, ow. And so the doctor's like, yeah, he's got appendicitis. We should probably remove it.
Oh my God.
And at that point, I think anyone else is like, no, I'll just do the test. But he was like, yep, fair enough. And
Oh my God.
he got his appendix removed, like actually fully removed, like, you know, day surgery, the whole fucking thing. And then he went back to school 5 days later and his maths teacher was like, Liam, you missed the test. Bang.
Oh
Here
my
it is.
God,
Here
that's
it is.
awesome.
God.
Like,
That's
he had to do the
great.
test
And he's
anyway.
like, oh no, my other appendix.
I think my other appendix is going. Oh no.
Why appendicitis of all
Yeah, why
things you
pick
could
that?
pick?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Just break your own arm.
Like, what is it?
Spoke like a real jackass.
Oh my God.
You can't do a test with no arms.
A girl in my year, in year 11, I think, broke her own finger to get out of doing some kind of test. And I remember thinking it was really hot. I remember her telling me, she's like, yeah, I broke my finger. I just slammed it in a door because I wanted to get out of, like, I think it was the end of year 11 exams. And I remember being like, that is so crazy. And I fucking love you. That is really attractive.
When that hand heals, call me.
You are nuts. And I love that.
Yeah, it is just kind of boredom, isn't it? Because like the reason I brought up the Fight Club thing is because like, is the show going to go somewhere? I don't want to steal stuff from the show.
No, it's okay. We can talk about it. Yeah.
Because like you got pretty seriously injured.
I did. Yeah.
Fight
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
Because someone brought in.
A knife. Yeah.
So I don't want to ask any leading questions, but yeah, I just wanted to get there quickly.
Yeah.
And if I'm familiar with the rules, you're not meant to talk about this stuff.
That's right. It's rule number 1 and 2. Yeah. So
Can you just set the scene? Like, how old are you? What is the nature of this fight club? How did you find out about it? Was it on a community notice board?
it wasn't like a real organized fight club, but it was just my group would like wrestle and do like slap fights and do aggressive things like that all the time. And we just thought it was funny. Like around the back oval of our school, there was a big hill. There was like a dirty area and then a big steep hill. And we would all like just fucking take turns either being pushed off it or being tackled off it or rolling down it. It was always like just aggressive shit. Anyway, a bunch of the kids in my year broke into the science labs and stole a box of scalpels, and we all kind of had one. We're all like, yeah, we got fucking knives, we got scalpels.
That's such a serious thing to steal.
They're so
hardcore.
crazy. It's so much worse than a knife too, because it's like a surgical blade.
They're so sharp.
So sharp. And yeah, we were just kind of like, me and this kid were wrestling and he had one in his pocket or something. And it ended up slicing my hand open. It's pretty gross, but this finger, my ring finger, was like dangling off and it cut my artery and blood was going everywhere and cut all the nerves in this hand and all that stuff.
Oh, God.
All the muscles. It was pretty crazy. But then we concocted a lie because I didn't want to dob on my friends for having stolen these blades. So, it was all like I wrapped my hand up really quick. My friend helped me, my friend Ben. We ran to the staff room. They called an ambulance. And as we were walking to the staff room, Ben and I were coming up with the lie. And he was like, we'll just say you landed on broken glass. And I was like, yeah, broken glass. And we told the teachers that. We told everyone that. We told the ambulance people. And then when we got to the hospital, I was like, I landed on broken glass. And the doctor was like, no, you didn't. That's a surgical wound. Like, that's clearly a blade. And I immediately folded and I was like, we have knives. We've all got knives. We've got them. And then,
Look, I really shouldn't be talking about this.
I still didn't rat my friend out whose it was, but then he like confessed or whatever.
Did he get in trouble?
He got a 3-day suspension.
Oh my God.
We all got a 3-day suspension, which is like nothing, obviously. But I wasn't at school. I was healing. I was off school for ages. I had to get a lot of surgery. But I remember like when I came back thinking, man, everything's going to be different. Everyone's going to feel sorry for me and I'm going to be like the weak kid. But immediately my friends were making fun of me and stuff. They were just like, fucking pussy. You're fucking pussy. You had to get surgery. And I'm like, I was in hospital for ages, guys. It was scary.
You guys just empathize for 1 second.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. I don't know if you guys have it, but it's like the dual personality where one part of you wants to be like tough and brave and the other part of you is like, yeah, I just want people to care about me. I'm so please worry about me, guys.
I gave up on being tough or brave so long ago.
Yeah, man. Basically same. But every now and then it rears its ugly head. That's that's toxic masculinity, and that's what we're here to talk about today on this podcast.
Hey, we're not here to talk about it. We're here to fight about it.
We're here to celebrate it. We're bringing it back.
It's got to come back.
One story at a time.
Yeah. We don't hear enough about toxic femininity. And I think we should.
Well, you should come to my festival show this year. That's what it's all about.
Tom's on stage being like, Cam, stop looking at my tits. For the love of God.
I'm not, I swear.
We should do the pilot ad read just because we're making terrific time here. Time flies.
Time flies, man. All right, so this is what I've got to read, huh?
You got to read this. Yes, I've written an ad for Cam James. This podcast, The Flog Cabin, brought to you by Pilot Men's Health. Whenever we have a guest, we write an ad for them and they read it sight unseen. Cam, give it a go.
G'day, floggers. It's Cameron James here. Unlike other guests in the cabin, it's already public domain that I've got a medium dick. It's a reference to a song of mine. Not too long and not too thick. But the whole truth is that my dick's actually medium rare. As in rarely erect. That's true. It actually is rarely erect. I think if we look at the timeline of my life, there's some spikes where it is. There's some spikes.
The spikes looking like an erect penis.
But you could say it is rarely erect. Seriously, I've been strumming my own banjo string without a single blood cell moving south. Whenever I'm with a girl, and it could be any girl, not my wife.
Nothing personal.
I'm wishing some of my gruen would transfer to my cock. That's because I write on the show Gruen. Honestly, the sheer amount of time between erections has led me to question everything. A show that I've appeared on. And if by some miracle I do manage to crack a fat, it's cancelled quicker than Saturday Night Row, a show that I was on that got cancelled. That's why I'm so glad I found Pilot. With their ED medication, my boners are stronger medium than a boomer's steak in an RSL bistro. I'm going to read that again.
Thank you. You get the flow of it now. Yeah, cool.
That's why I'm so glad I found Pilot. With their ED medication, my boners are a stronger medium than a boomer's steak in an RSL bistro.
He's a pro.
Josh, edit the first readout and focus mainly on that one and put a little reverb on it, please. Thanks, Pilot. Save $20 off your first order with promo code FLOGGERS20. Pilot, hard, made easy.
He's good.
Very good.
That's why he keeps getting ads. I was actually going to reference the ad, but I couldn't remember what car it was for.
Toyota?
I thought it was a
can't
Ute of
remember
some
either,
description.
actually. Good
It was a
que-
Ute, I think. It was an
But I
SUV.
did recently do a Bundaberg rum ad, so that could be
I did see
almost,
that.
you could tie it in where it's like, I've drunk so much Bundaberg rum that it's affected my dick, and now I need Pilot to,
Yep.
Don't-
balance it out, whatever.
Reach out for a collab.
Brainstorm.
Yeah. I want to ask you this because you had the campaign of trying to get your song in the hottest 100. And I was thinking about it like, if you are an Aussie muso who's hoping you're going to feature in the countdown, I remember they interviewed someone, they're like, it's such a nervous day because you just spend the whole day being like, am I going to be in? Am I not going to be in? And the closer you get to the top, there's that thing of like, am I not in it at all or did I fucking nail it?
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you expect going into it? How long were you holding out hope for? Did you tune in again for the hottest 200?
I actually didn't tune in at all. I've been editing a live show that I filmed, and I was editing all day, and I didn't. But I did check my phone. My dad was listening, and I think he texted me around about number 80, and he was like, so far, no medium dick. And I was like, well, it's not in it. Because that was the only chance I had was down the bottom.
Yeah,
But
it's like, Billie Eilish took number 2, so fingers crossed. That's how we go.
it was very much a half-hearted campaign, but I thought it was kind of funny to do it. It also would have been cool to get in it, but I was mainly thinking of it would be funny to make a fake campaign. But the secret side of every joke is, but wouldn't it be awesome if I actually did get in there?
It's definitely easier to say it's funny now that it didn't get it.
Yeah. But no, I didn't even listen.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say. Triple J. I'm sorry to Conchetta and Luca, friends of ours, but no, I wasn't.
Did a great job there at the end.
I'm sure they did a great job.
I was listening there because I was driving between gigs.
Oh, no.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the bloody radio on.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And then I was listening and I was like, this isn't as good as Spotify.
This isn't a podcast.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. It
Joe
would've been
Rogan
sick,
doing the
though.
hottest 100.
But when I was like a teenager, that's all I wanted to do was like be in a band and be on Triple J's Hottest 100. But I also think if I was a teenager and I was listening to the Hottest 100 and I heard a comedy song about a guy's penis, I'd be so pissed off. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Triple J sucks now. It's gone to shit. So-
Unless it was like a drill parody. Then
That's
they'd
true.
probably get into
Then I'd
it.
be like, "Oh." But also, Luca played Medium Dick on Triple J
That's nice.
so that it would be eligible for the Hottest 100,
Oh, okay.
which is nice of him. And he got in a lot of trouble from his bosses for playing it.
Really?
They didn't approve it.
Why? He didn't go through the proper
He didn't go through the proper
processes
processes, and I believe he got in trouble. And one of the bosses at Triple J was like, we don't want that sort of thing on the radio. So I kind of
Australian music.
I kind of already knew that it wasn't going to get much love. You know,
Do you reckon it was vetoed?
it also wasn't listed on their list. So if you wanted to vote for it, you had to go through such a long process of submitting it manually. So I was very much aware that it wasn't going to be in there.
Do you reckon it's like the voting where you have to get it exactly right for it to count? So if anyone listed you as Cam James, medium dick, or like
I'm sure there's
Cameron
a bit of
James,
that.
space dash me, it's just like, it's like, nope, sorry, that's
There's
a different
probably
song.
a bit of that. Like, look, I'm trying to whistleblow here to get some clicks online. Yes, I think it's corrupt. Yes, I think it's voter fraud. And yes, I think the ABC is a fascist organization.
And if you agree with Cameron James, I'll see you outside the studios in Ultimo January 6th. Let's stop the steal. Let's fix this
Storming
thing.
the ABC Capitol.
I'm going to take a shit on Richard Kingsmill's desk.
Yeah, and he's not even there anymore. But his home office. So we're going to go to his home office.
In Richard Kingsmill's study. He's like, who are you? My medium dick forever.
What are you talking about?
I'm wearing the fucking goat horns. Just cause. Why the fuck not, dude? Let's get him.
Yes.
Dude.
But
Yeah,
did you ever play like serious music and
No,
stuff?
not really. I like to believe that I was going to.
I thought you were. I was going to say this. You guys both wanted to be like band guys. That's how you got into this thing.
I was in a band in uni, but we were bad. And I had
What kind of music?
just like nothing, like just like indie pop, I guess. But we
Yeah.
were like I think we thought the fact we didn't fit into a genre was a cool thing and not an awful thing. It's just like, we're just going to write songs and put them out there, and we use one of the pedals we
Exact
bought
same
recently.
thing with the last band I was in. we really were like, man, we're undefinable. And then I look back, I'm like, that's why we suck.
Yeah, exactly.
No one was into
What is this?
Like, people would come and be like, what the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Each song sounds different to the last. It's just vaguely indie.
But I remember having like a kind of bucket listy thing for music, and one of them was Hottest 100. One of them was
Yeah.
Like a Version. Always wanted to do Like a
me
Version.
too. What song would you have done on Like a Version?
I really wanted to do at the time, the thing in my mind was we were going to do God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, one of
Great
the
song.
most difficult songs for a 5-piece untalented rock
Yeah.
band to cover. Like, does anyone know how to play the pan flute?
It's a beautiful song.
What about you?
We wanted to do, Love is in the Air by John Paul Young, because I think I was really into the idea that it'll be ironic for us to do like a really romantic sort of disco-y song.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we're going to do Love is in the Air. And then, of course, we never got to do Like a Version or anything, but I still think that would be a cool song to do because it's kind of like funny and cheesy.
Did you ever cover it in the places where you could play?
Yeah. We
Okay,
did.
cool.
Yeah. We had it locked and loaded. We were ready to do it if they ever called us up out of obscurity. To do it. But do you ever miss playing in a band?
I don't know, kind of. I think objectively music is a better art form. I think when you see people doing it really well, I'm like, that looks so much better than what we do.
Totally.
But I also know, how much harder it is to make it as a band, and two, how much more, it's kind of the same thing, but it's so much more competitive. People work so much harder to be musicians. There are so many more people trying to get it, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And in this country too, like there's a ceiling of how high you can go. And I remember there was a band that I used to love that were always played on Triple J, like in 2012 or whatever. And their lead singer just worked in a shop in Newtown. And I would just see him all the time and be like, oh my God, like that's the industry? You still have to have a fucking job?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ballpark Music, one of my favorite bands, who when I was like 21, I was like, would love to be, that's the dream. And then I found out that their big single off their third album, he was like, yeah, I had the kind of idea for it when I was working at a cafe and all the chefs were on meth. And I was like, what? 3 albums in, you're still doing that? Crazy.
I know. Thank God we chose comedy, which is a stable industry.
Yeah.
And we're all loaded.
Really well remunerated.
Yeah,
I
that's
hear
great.
the rates have gone up between 1980 and now.
Thank God we unionized, huh?
And by the
It's
way, if you
good.
guys want to do any more erectile dysfunction ads, hit me up.
We're available. I didn't realize that musos kind of had these little things, like, like the Hottest 100 and like a version, Because I feel like with comedy, it's kind of obvious because you're like a late night spot, like in America or the gala, like it's like- but I think the Like a Version thing is funny because I'd be like, man, I just want to do the Great Debate.
Oh, yeah.
The Melbourne Comedy Festival Great Debate. I just want to be on the negatives team, you know?
When I was younger, I think I did want to do that. I mean, I don't think I would be good at it, but I remember watching
But that's
comedy
never stopped
stuff
a
on TV.
white male before.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still do it. But I remember thinking Great Debate would be cool. And Gala, I guess. But then also it's like Rove. Would have been cool to do a stand-up on Rove or the Footy Show or something.
Dude, that's such a fun segue because on the Patreon, I do want to talk about your interactions with one Rove McManus. I want to get into it behind the paywall. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's
Fuck
fine.
yeah. All
I
right.
love Rove.
Yeah, sick.
We all love Rove.
I mean, I didn't realize, but I had a joke in my thing that they played on Channel 7, which is like basically making fun of Rove, and I didn't.
Oh,
you know the thing where like you kind of have your
joke?
show and you're doing it on stage, you're not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Then you like watch it back, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that could get back to
Well,
you.
hang on. What was the joke?
It was just like, I feel like racism in Australia is like Rove McManus on television. There used to be more. Now there's less, probably still too much. I was just watching that. And I'm like, oh, that's not very
God,
nice.
you
Rove's like,
cunt.
what the fuck am I catching strays for here?
Yeah.
I got nothing. I've been nice to this guy when I met him.
So rude.
Just seems like a decent dude. You know what I mean? Just like, he's never going to interact with this.
He
You're like,
might.
oh, whoops. Like,
It's a fucking small. It's a small industry. I think if I've learned anything, it's that people listen to shit. People catch stuff.
Dude, yeah.
I got in trouble from Shane Jacobson for something I said on a podcast.
Kenny
Yeah.
came after you?
Yes, and rightfully so.
What did you say about
I
Kenny?
just sort
Did you
of-
go Jacobson or Kenny?
Jacobson.
Okay.
Named him. And I just sort of made fun of something that he had done and talked about the negatives of it rather than focusing on the positives. And he heard and he got my number and he rang me up.
He called you.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes. And I just had to cop it. He was like, I heard that thing you said. I thought it was really mean and unnecessary. For context, I'd worked with him in a very minor way as a writer on a previous thing. I'd only interact with him. No, it was for a TV show.
Sure.
And I'd only met him once, but still, it was a project that he was like a big part of. And so he was just a bit hurt. And he was like, I think that was really unnecessary. I think that was really mean. And I think that what you did was really immature. And I just had to cop it. I just had to really get roused on by Australia's dad, Shane Jacobson, aka Kenny, and he called me immature, and it really hit. I was like, he's fucking right. I was really immature. What was I doing? Why was I out there saying negative things about him? Of course it's going to get back. It's a small industry.
What part of this isn't immature though?
Yeah,
just like, you mean really immature? Just like, you mean like professionally, like I am always?
Yeah.
You mean that guy who played the Portaloo cleaner? Thinks you're being immature?
Hey man, I heard you were talking shit, didn't you? Isn't that why you're famous?
I copped it. I just was like, no, that's fair. That's actually fair enough. I think I'm a little old for this now. Like, because this is only a couple of years ago, so I would have been like 34, 35, 34 or something. And that's too old to be getting roused on. But it's also too old to be probably like running your mouth about people. And so I just was like, I got to stop. I got to put a stop to this. No more, I'm going to say no more mean things.
No more mean things outside of the Patreon where you're going to be talking about your real feelings about Rove McManus.
Yeah, behind a paywall.
That's the mature thing to do.
Yeah.
If you want to
monetize your bitching.
If you want to verify what I said, you're going to have to pay me $9.50 US.
We'll let you know if Rove signs up to the Patreon.
McManus has joined the Patreon.
Entry level
Like,
tier?
look, we're not 100% sure it's Rove. Is his email rovemcmanus@bigpond? Are we sure? But yeah, it was actually really fun. I know what you mean. We're just like, because if Rove called me up, like, hey man, why'd you say that? I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's it. I didn't have a
thought it
good
was
answer.
funny.
I was just like, I don't know. Sorry, man.
It's like, we hear me talking shit about Peter Hellier, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. He seems nice. Sorry.
He is nice. I've met him. He was all right. But can't I talk shit about him?
See, I got called out like twice by two separate people within about a 2-week period. Shane Jacobson was one, and the other one was, I'm not even going to name him because he's like a peer of ours. And again, I'd made fun of him on a podcast, and then and I thought it was good natured, but then he was just like, I don't know you well enough for you to be doing that. And I was like, oh yeah, I suppose I don't know you that well. Sorry, man. And he was just like, yeah, if we were good mates, I'd think it was fine, but I don't really know you, so why'd you do that? And I was like, fuck.
That's like a double burn.
I got it was like twice in a fortnight, and I just remember that being a wake up call for me, being like, I think I need to rein it in. I'm getting a bit too flying too close to the Jackass sun, you know. My inner Knoxville is coming out.
That's what Jackass 5 is. Just Knoxville talking shit about Hollywood actors he doesn't like.
That's the most dangerous thing they can do at this point in their lives.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to name some names. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw the reputation
Bitch
down a flight of
Tom
stairs.
Green or something like that.
I didn't think these Down syndrome actors in The Ringer were that funny.
Oh, God.
Tom, you're going to get some phone calls, and you're not going to like them. Dude, I can't help but think, Cam, we should have had you on the podcast 2 years ago.
I'm growing up.
Stuff.
I'm trying to grow up now. We're all getting too old for this stuff. We got to be good. We should only bitch about people that we know are evil.
No, we're evil.
Yes.
Is evil the bar? Can't they just be shit?
Can't they be not good in the way that I like?
Yeah, but even the shit people are nice. There's like so many nice shit people, but evil, at least you can go, but I don't believe in what they stand for.
Who would you say the top 5 nice shit people?
Subscribe to the Patreon. It'll all be up
All right,
there.
guys, get your phones ready.
No, I don't know. Who do you hate? Who do you guys
Fuck,
hate?
I would love that. That's what the Patreon is on
Yeah.
this. It's just like the 5 nice shit people, in your opinion. That's how you start, and then we just get in.
Oh,
The only people in the Patreon are just other comedians who are nervous.
Fuck.
nervous about their reputation. I just thought,
I did talk shit about a comedian, nameless, and not even like they suck, about an interaction I had with a comedian on my one-person solo podcast that only ever got dozens of downloads per episode. That episode shot double because of all the comedians in Sydney who'd heard.
Yeah.
and we're talking 72 people. Listen to this.
Yeah, that might be the number. That could be it. And that comedian still will not talk to me.
So that's the thing. I've been in and off group chats where I've been sent podcasts like that where people, you have to listen to this. And then you just know that it's getting so many more downloads or listens than any other episode they've gotten. And I mean, we all know the one I'm talking about. You know the podcast I'm talking about.
For me, like, I think the funniest, and I hope the floggers who listen to this find this interesting. If you know comedians, like, the only thing that is consistent is the biggest, most important comedian you respect will be talking to you at some point and bring up a podcast that you can't imagine they know exists and be like, did you hear what blah, blah, blah said about blah, blah? And you're like, you fucking kidding me?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Everyone listens to everything. Everyone bitches about everything. Even that Rove McManus story that you were hinting at earlier that we will talk about on the Patreon. The first ever interaction I had with Tom Gleeson was him asking me about that. He was like, hey man, I heard this story about you. Is this true? And then he just repeated my own story back to me and I went, fuck, I've never even spoken to you, man, but how do you know about this?
Dude, he's always hosting the hard quiz, that fella.
Cam James and Rove McManus is my topic on hard quiz.
Yeah, it's like it's a bitchy little industry.
Yeah, like I still remember I found this so like liberating when Shane Gillis was on, I think it was Rogan, and he was talking about his special on YouTube, which, like, I don't know, 30 million views at this point, like a really great comedy special that everybody's watched and everybody likes. And he was like, I read every single comment on that fucking thing, and people saying I laugh at my own jokes annoys that, like, it bugs him. Like, he's still just like, fuck, I do. Like, that's where we're at.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. I even, I read recently that Kevin Smith, when Clerks came out, it got like so many great reviews. People loved it. It was a big hit at Sundance and stuff. But the very first review he got, the person said, this guy doesn't know how to compose a shot. He's like actually a bad visual director. And he's like, that's the only thing I think about. And he's like, anytime I start a new movie, that's all I think about is that one sentence just pops into my head. This guy's a bad visual director. It's been 40 years or whatever, you know, like we hang on to shit like that. That's why we can't bitch about Shane Jacobson and people like that. We can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a real shame because I have some opinion. No. I think, that's my true gift. I just don't watch anything. Like, I don't watch anything. So I'm just like, I genuinely don't have an, like, you know.
Shane Jacobson calls you don't watch Australia's Got Talent? Why don't you watch it? He's on that, right?
One of my favorite things, I remember seeing Husey at a gig and he was like, the Masked Singer's coming back for another season. Who's excited? And everyone was quiet in the crowd, like no one cheered. And then he was like, yeah, it fucking sucks, doesn't it? And I'm like, yes, Husey, turn on it. He just immediately threw it under the bus. I love it. I love it.
That would actually be like my ideal version of the Masked Singer. It's just actors saying things they really think, and then eventually they get revealed, like who it was the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like people bitching.
The Masked Bitcher.
That's the response I give when I say, does anyone listen to Flog Cabin, my stand-up?
Nah, it fucking sucks. Don't listen to it.
The Masked Singer of podcasts.
It's not the audience, it's Husey. It fucking sucks.
I never listen. They don't talk about anything. You never know when it started.
What's it about? Who's Josh?
Josh, edit this out.
All right. Cam, this will come out pretty soon. Where can people find you? Which festivals you doing this year? Where can the floggers come see you live?
I am touring fucking everywhere, floggers. I'm going to be in Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, Melbourne, Sydney, Newcastle, and possibly more.
Brisbane?
Brisbane, yes.
There we go.
And the show's called Broken Records, and it's me doing comedy for an hour.
And he also, in a tribute to Jackass, breaks a record over his head to finish the show.
That's true. I will drink horse cum at the end of every show. It's gonna kill me, but I have to do it to honor the boys, honor those Jackass boys.
You can catch him in paddocks, jerking off horses every night of the run.
Every night, just so frustrated because I'm running late. I'm like, come on, I've got to get to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flog Paddock. Sick. And the Becky and Cam.
Every now and then we're doing it. Becky had a baby. So now the podcast has become an every now and then type thing.
New episodes every now and then.
Literally. Every week I get a message from her saying, let's do a pod. And I go, let's do it. And then she goes, I can't do it. I go, fair enough.
Look, man, you got to commit. Sometimes you just got to ask your wife, baby, and dog to leave the house for 2 hours so you can talk about cum.
Yes, but
Hey,
no.
if it wasn't for cum, you wouldn't have this adorable child. So pick a side, lady.
Cum makes the world go round. I've always said that. Always said it. Always will say it. Always was. Always will be.
Cum?
Yeah.
What came first, the cum or the cum?
I don't know.
There it
guys.
is.
I don't know, guys.
Josh, edit that in.
At the start, would you? Let's open with that.
And where can people find you on social media?
At I am Cameron James.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come to the Patreon right after this with some Rope McManus. The way we end the episode, I say something, Tom says something, then you say the word bye, but you give it any flavor that you'd like.
Okay.
Okay. So stay flogged up.
Check the dodgems.
Bye.